Also wieder nur Würmer hier. Also ich probiere noch alle... Ah, jetzt muss ich aufladen. Ich probiere noch alle Rocks hier auf der Ebene aufzubrechen. Hier sind meine Batterien jetzt. Wenn nochmal ein Chromium Rocky Viech rauskommt, versuche ich das einzufangen, wobei ich davon ausgehe, es funktioniert nicht. Weil, ja, weil hier auch steht: This will only work on certain small non-hostile creatures. Okay, es steht sogar non-hostile, also brauche ich es eigentlich gar nicht probieren. Aber naja, jetzt habe ich schon angefangen. Und da ist doch einer. Die waren jetzt auch nicht so schwierig, von dem her. So, und ich nehme gleich Freeze. Und dann Neural Overload. Sprint. So weit weg wie es geht. Er wird nicht rankommen, genau. Und Neural Overload bis zum Ende. Hierhin. Und das war's. Jo. Achso. Hier packe ich jetzt mal wieder... So. Alles rein. Jetzt muss ich mal gucken, ob die irgendwann geschickt stehen von Fireball oder so. Sieht fast nicht so aus. Na, jetzt vielleicht. So. Na, immerhin. 3. Okay. Achso, hier. Ne, achso, der hatte nichts anderes. Also das riecht jetzt auch so ein bisschen danach, dass ich diese Dinger irgendwie einschmelzen kann. Und mir das dann irgendwas bringt beim Craften oder wo auch immer. Aber naja, das interessiert mich erstmal nicht. Ich habe noch keinen konkreten Anlass. Hier ist was. Hier ist nicht was. Ist nicht welche respawned. Unglaublich. Dauert doch eigentlich recht lange. Na, okay. Ich spiele mit dem Gedanken, ob ich jetzt einfach mit der Bahn zurückfahre. Also mit der Metro. Weil ich habe keine Lust zu laufen. Und auch dieses, ja. Ich will auch nicht allzu viel eigentlich jetzt gerade erkunden vom Underrail, weil es lenkt mich ja auch nur wieder ab später. Ich würde erstmal gern die 2 Städte jetzt abschließen. Ja, ich denke, das mache ich. Ups, hier raus. Ach, die Map ist auch denkbar ungünstig aufgebaut. Aber wenn ich aus der Stadt raus will, ist unten definitiv schneller. Wenn ich mir eine Map spare. Ja, ich schwimme sowieso im Geld. Kann ich auch einen Zug nehmen. Er hat gesagt, westlich sind faceless. Die auch noch relativ stark sind, also... So... SGS, 25 Terrans, ist okay. So. Zurück in die Heimat. Und gleich runter zu den Biologen. Ich frage mich gerade, ob ich die Hopper damals bei der Cave Hopper Quest, ob ich die überhaupt hätte jagen müssen, oder ob ich die überhaupt hätte stunnen müssen, oder ob es nur darum ging, dass ich halt anders nicht zu denen hinkomme. So, Big Bread. Er hat... nee, er ist nicht der Richtige. Ich hätte jetzt gedacht, er kennt sich mit Kreaturen am besten aus. War es doch er hier? Quinton, ja, Quinton wurde genannt. I wanted to ask you about some odd creatures that are plaguing Foundry at the moment. Thought you might know something. Foundry? Sure. Can you describe these creatures to me? Erstmal diese Würmer, weil ich da auch ja den Wurm dabei habe. There are these worm-like things with weird heads shaped like small drills. Drills? I've seen a fair share of odd beings, but one with a drill for a head? Never in my lifetime. Could you catch one if that's possible? I'd love to take a look at the creature. And you too need some answers, or else you wouldn't be talking to me in the first place, huh? Das habe ich schon gemacht. I've captured one of these worms. Quinton inspects the creature as it squirms inside the crate. As soon as it spots him, the creature begins thrashing out, occasionally stopping to aim its head at him and screech in an act of desperate intimidation. Now this is what I'm talking about. I'd like to take a look at it. Anything I should know before opening the crate? How dangerous is it? I'd be very cautious if I were you. Weil das schadet nie. He carefully grabs the creature, holding it firmly as it wriggles in his hands. He takes a good look at it, charming by its oddity and alien form, before he turns to you. Please wait while I examine it. This won't take long. The creature suddenly makes a few powerful motions, wailing its unheld ends, and shakes Quinton's upper body and prompting him to even spread its legs a bit in order to maintain proper balance. He is able to control it, however. This one's a fighter. Okay, ich bin sehr gespannt. You wait while Quinton completes his examination, observing him as he performs it with great focus and care. How after only a few minutes he makes it seem as if he had been handling these creatures for years. Slowly and steadily he finishes the examination. He places the creature back into its mobile jail, turns to you but only to inform you that he needs to leave and do one more test. The two are gone for a while. Soon he returns to you with a genuine smile on his face, overflowing with excitement. He wastes no time. I am back, Thlily. I hope you didn't fall asleep waiting for me. What have you discovered? First, without dissecting the creature, which I would never do without consulting you, I can tell you a couple of things I've learned so far. Their heads do appear to be used for actual drilling. Even though I haven't been able to see it in action yet, obviously, the combination of the unique shape of the head and surprisingly powerful musculature makes me feel that it engages its whole body during the process. Maybe it, say, rotates itself in short bursts, or maybe it coils up and releases the energy at that manner. I'm just speculating. What is a fact though is that the head is very, very tough, so I have no doubt that it can bore through hard material without much of an issue. Vielleicht können wir die Würmer nutzen, um den riesigen Stein zu besiegen. As for the rest of the creature's body, it is segmented and has a decently thick skin covered in what appears to be very soft, delicate scales, or at least something similar to it. As in snakes, it probably helps them move, possibly to retain moisture too. The skin is also highly sensitive, which makes sense for a creature limited in ways it can acquire information about its environment. There are a few other details about it, but those are quite minor and uninteresting. Now, what I did was a quick superficial examination. I'd need to dissect the creature to really tell you more about its anatomy. However, I saved the good stuff for last. I decided to do some psi readings. That is why I left the room earlier, and the readings were off the charts. In fact, the creature exhibits a psi signature so strong that I am surprised it does not have some defensive psi abilities at its disposal. However, the signature is also incredibly complex, and I am not ashamed of telling you even I am having problems interpreting it. He shrugs. I am afraid that analyzing it is well above my skill level, but I am absolutely 100% positive that understanding this psi signature will not only help you on your, for lack of a better word, quest, but also pave way to engrossing scientific discoveries, for those of us who care, if nothing else. So there, that is all I have for you. That is all very interesting. Regarding this psi signature, do you know anyone I can take this larva to? Well, as far as the psi in general is concerned, Azura is the top expert in SGS, so he's the right person to bring this critter to. If he can't help you, then you're stuck. Yeah, well, he hands you the crate back. Here. Captivating little thing this is, and feisty. I'll bring this to him then. Zum Glück schickt er mich jetzt nicht wieder durch die Weltgeschichte nach Core City oder so. Besteht doch eine Chance, dass ich das zeitnah abschließen kann. Okay, also die Kreatur kann bohren mit ihrem Kopf. Und sie ist irgendwie psi-mäßig aktiv. About those mine creatures from Foundry. There are these highly aggressive quadrupedal creatures, most easily recognized by shells made of rock with metallic blades protruding from their backs. Ever seen anything like that? Was das sind jetzt die anderen Kreaturen, nach denen ich fragen kann? Never. But it sounds really intriguing. I'd remember it, that's for sure. If you could bring me some part of the creature or a live specimen, then I'd be more than happy to share anything I learn with you. I have a piece of the rock creature. Let me see. Quinton inspects the piece you gave him. Fascinating. As if you detached this from a piece of machinery and not a living, breathing creature. This is from its back, right? Is that what you said? Yes, their backs are covered with these blades. Well, this is what I can tell you about the creature by looking at this. Considering that you told me the blades grew out of its back, I can guess that it serves a defensive purpose. I see no cavities or canals for nerves or blood vessels to go through, or to accommodate any kind of organic matter. To illustrate what I mean, I'll take your very own bones as an example. We grow our bones through a process called ossification. Do you know what that is? No, what is that? Your bones contain cells called osteoblasts, which secrete the minerals necessary to form bone. The process by which they do this is called ossification. Now, bone tissue is usually composed of a mineral matrix which contains these cells, and bones themselves are composed of approximately 70% mineral content. This blade here, this is one solid piece of metal, no organic matter whatsoever, no porosity and no traces that this grew out of a living being. How does it grow then? That I don't know. Tooth enamel, for instance, is almost completely made of hydroxylapatite, a kind of calcium phosphate, with the rest being water and a hint of organic matter. Enamel is formed within the gums, before the tooth grows out, so there's a possibility that this blade is formed within the shell and grows out later. But how, I don't know. Right now I can only make speculations. Here, take this blade back. If you want to test its composition, better have that done by someone, well, someone who's not a biologist, that's for sure. A smile lifts his mask slightly up. If you can bring me any other part of the creature or a live specimen, then we have ourselves a winner. This, however, I am sorry. This is all fascinating in any case. Ich brauche also jemand, der sich mit Metall auskennt. Da wären ja die in der Foundry gerade richtig, aber ich erinnere mich an keinen, der jetzt da allzu speziell war. Da muss ich mal nochmal in mich gehen. In Rail Crossing gab es auch diesen Händler, der, glaube ich, ganz am Eingang Der Motorräder repariert, der auch irgendwie sich mit alten Teilen auskannte? Keine Ahnung. Also muss ich mich einfach weiter umschauen. Okay, I understand. I'd like to change the subject to something else. Gut. Das war's dann. Irgendwas Neues hier. Das Shielded Blading Eye will er ja nicht. Schade. Also kein Biologe. Ich frage doch nochmal ihn hier. Auch wenn ich ihn jetzt auch als Biologen bezeichnen würde. Gut, ach, die Crates willst du selber gar nicht. Eieiei. Gut, dann gehe ich kurz zum... Achso, Ezra ist der bei Engineering. Dann gehe ich doch mal dorthin. Und hoffe, dass vielleicht diese Info über die Würmer schon ausreicht. Um da Näheres rauszufinden. Wie ich den großen Rock-Typ besiegen kann. Could you take a look at this for me? Ezra looks at the restless creature, now at the apex of its aggravation. He focuses on it in silence, and as moments pass, the creature becomes more and more calm. Slowly but surely it reaches a point of complete tranquility and motionlessness, on account of which one could easily mistake it for being dead. Ezra? He turns to you. Where did you find this creature? In a mine in Foundry. Interesting. And are there any other creatures living among or in close proximity to these? Yes, creatures with shells made of rock that have metallic blades on their back. Those are the only ones as far as I know. He speaks but more to himself than you. I see. Another adaptation. It makes some sense. And you, why are you so interested in this subject? Foundry is having difficulties with those creatures, as they are infesting their mine, but the real problem is the beast, a creature identical to what I described but much larger, tougher and much meaner. As yet, there doesn't seem to be an apparent way to kill it. The creature, because of its heavy armor, is practically invulnerable, and nearly all those who faced it lost their lives. So, you want to find a way to kill it. Very well, I understand everything now. I'll tell you what you need to know. The creature you brought me is actually the larva form of the rock creature you described. As strange as that may seem, yes, these are their larvae. I've encountered them in the past, in different forms, though. Regardless, I can help you find this adaptation's weakness. But for that, you will have to bring me some part of the creature to analyze. Try to bring me a piece of its shell or backblades if you can. If not, then bring whatever you are able to acquire. I have a piece of one right here. Let me see it. I will be right back. He takes a sample from you and leaves the room. Wait for him to return. Ezra returns shortly, just as I suspected. Yes? I have managed to analyze the composition of this impure chromium blade, and I emphasize this because over 90% of it is indeed chromium, but that you knew already. However, what you didn't know is that it is the other 10% that differentiate vermin from a walking apocalypse. Foundry is very unfortunate in having their surrounding rock made up of some of the hardest minerals in nature, for it is these materials which together form the living armor of these creatures. And I am not just talking about their shell, no. It is their whole bodies which are comprised of these metals and minerals, albeit in varying quantities depending on the section, of course. Chromium is in itself a resistant metal, but its strength lies in its high heat resistance. The rest of the materials serve to counteract mechanical forces acting upon the organism. It appears that in small creatures this robustness can be overcome by conventional means, if barely. In the beast, I'd suggest you return to Foundry and tell them to collapse the cave where it lives and abandon them altogether. But that isn't an option, or else you wouldn't be here. Luckily there is a way. By my calculations, and I've taken all the approximate constituent elements found inside the sample into consideration, the temperature necessary to melt these creatures' shell should be at least 2500 degrees centigrade. Ironically, considering chromium is practically the essence of these creatures, this seems to be the most realistic way to defeat it, as Foundry is likely to have some means, be it a furnace or something else, which can melt chromium, hence producing temperatures this high. So it seems that I'm going to need a way to lure the beast into Foundry and kill it there. Anything you can do to help me with the luring part? Könnte ich fragen. Also, ich muss die Kreatur quasi schmelzen. Was im Foundry sicherlich irgendwo geht. Mit den Schmelzöfen. Und ja, also jetzt kann ich fragen, ob ich ihn irgendwie aus der Höhle rauslocken soll. Ich kann fragen, was ist mit Plasma Weapons? Okay, also ich frage mal von vorne einfach rauslocken, Fragezeichen. And what will you do once it's in Foundry? Do you have a plan? Foundry has this old large smelting furnace near the mine entrance. I could use that to pour molten metal onto the beast and kill it. That seems plausible. I happen to know from previous research how these creatures communicate. With the larval form you brought me, I think I will be able to create a device which you will be able to use to summon the creature. At least it should. What do you mean it should? This is an improvised device that I am making out of components I have at hand. Things can go awry. Maybe it'll summon the creature you want, maybe it'll summon something else. You won't know until you press the button. Ich könnte dir bessere Komponenten suchen. Bin nicht unter Zeitdruck eigentlich. Aber na gut. Making the device shouldn't take long though. I believe I already have all the necessary components right here. Wait some more, would you? Oh yeah. Ob das was wird? He returns with the gift he promised. Here it is. Try your best not to disturb the larva within the device too much. You need it to be alive for the device to function properly. Also er hat jetzt ein Gerät um diese Larve drum gebaut? Also diesen Rockworm? Okay. Nochmal über die Rock Creatures. Was ist mit Plasma Weapons? When all molecules are ionized, yes, plasma can reach theoretically temperatures in the range of billions of degrees. However, most conventional plasma weapons we have today use plasma where only a fraction of gas molecules are ionized. There are three primary reasons for this. First one is a technological limitation, the second is power consumption, and the third is the fact that the shooter does not want to be evaporated together with everything else around him when firing his weapon. Okay. How come you know so much about these creatures? Knowledge like this does not arrive with merely encountering something. I have learned quite a few things throughout the years. There are bits and pieces of knowledge and history everywhere you look, and over time, things simply accumulate. You are awfully mysterious, Ezra. First I ask you tell me you don't know about Wyatt Peer, and now this, and yet you seem like you have an answer for everything else I ask you. No one has an answer to anything, to everything, and no one should have an answer to everything. Life would be dull otherwise. I'd like to return to the topic at hand now. You mentioned something about adaptations. What did you mean precisely? You see, the larva uses its psi energy to cocoon itself inside living or non-living entities and tailor its genetic makeup to support the organism's further development in accordance with what it's merging with. Inside, the larva develops into its adult form, and the resulting creature is fully intricated within the entity of choice. So if the creature wants a rock shell, it will dig itself into a rock and fuse with it. Do you know what these creatures are called? Psi-enhanced polymorphic organisms, or Psimorphs for short. I'll get going. Okay.